Hey YouTube, it's Icio, and today I'm going to be reviewing Sony's streaming player with Wi-Fi, model number SMP-N100. So here it is, and let me just say that you basically plug this thing into your TV, and it turns your TV into a smart TV. Now what I mean is that you actually take this and you hook it up to your TV, and then you have access to different sources of digital media, such as YouTube, Netflix, Pandora Internet Radio, Hulu Plus, and loads of other sources for digital content. And I'm just going to start off this review by saying that this is the best device for streaming digital content to your TV in my opinion. So just be sure to continue watching the review and you'll soon find out why. Now this does work with practically any TV because it supports a wide variety of different TV inputs. So again, here it is, and I'm just going to go over some of the technical specifications of it right now. So in order to connect to the internet, you can either do it via Wi-Fi or you can do it via Ethernet with this port here. Now, in order to connect it to your TV, it supports VG cables, which are these three right here, and that is the older connection, and that is actually what my TV uses because I do not have an HD TV, and it also supports component video out cables, which are these bottom three right here. And if you want to go HD, it supports HDMI out, and it supports up to full 1080p HD, which is more than its competition can say. And it also supports optical audio digital out. Now here you just plug in your power cable, and on the front it has the power button as well as a USB port for third-party peripherals such as a camera or a flash drive. Now it does weigh 1.5 pounds and it supports Dolby Digital audio output as well. It also supports all of the major picture and video formats, so if you are plugging in your camera via that USB port, or you're plugging in an external hard drive or a USB flash memory device, then it will be able to support basically all of the standard formats. Now what I mean by standard formats are things like DivX, DivX HD, JPEG pictures, as well as WMV videos and some of the other major formats. And you can also plug in a USB keyboard to it for input. So if you're searching through something like Netflix or YouTube, you can actually use your keyboard instead of trying to fumble around with the remote control. So now I'm just gonna go over what actually comes in the box. Right, so here is the box itself, and it comes with the streaming player with Wi-Fi, and it also comes with the power cable, and you just plug this end into the wall, and you take this end and you plug it into your streaming player. Now what's really nice is that it also comes with an AV cable, so you can actually plug it into your TV. Now it does not come with an HDMI cable, but then again that's standard for the streaming media player industry. And here is the remote that it comes with. It's just a very basic, very simple, very nice remote, and this is how you do everything on the streaming player. However, as you can see, it does not have letters on it at all, it just has numbers. Now this is very difficult when you're trying to search for something, and it makes it almost impossible to search for longer things. You actually have to arrow over with this D-pad, and I will demonstrate that later on in the review. However, there is a solution for everybody who owns an iPhone or an iPod Touch. You can actually use Sony's Media Remote application to control your streaming player. And again, I'll talk about that more and demo it later in the review. And finally, it just comes with an instruction booklet. Right, so now that I've gone over everything in the box, given you a brief overview of the streaming media player itself, and gone over some of the technical specifications of it, we're going to go ahead and get on into the hands-on portion of this review. I'm just going to go over some of the basic settings for it. So over here you have the setup category, and inside of the setup category you can do a network update, which just updates your streaming player. You can change the screen settings. Also you get different audio settings that you can change, and you get parental controls that you can set. Now you can also get access to all of your system settings, and then you just get a couple other quick settings here, and you get system information, which provides the software version and MAC address of the unit. And in network settings, you can obviously set up your network and your Wi-Fi connection. And when you go to easy setup, it just gives you a quick and easy setup so you can get started using your streaming player. Now I don't actually want to start it because I already have mine set up the way I like it. Now you can also have photos on here, and the main way that you would access these is to actually plug something in to that USB port I was talking about earlier, and then you just access it from there, and it will say photos from device. Now over here in music, you get a couple of different options. You get Music Unlimited, Slacker, Pandora Internet Radio, and a couple of other things. Now you get a ton of different options inside of video, and the most notable ones are Hulu Plus, Netflix, and YouTube. So I'm just going to be demoing Netflix and YouTube, but let's say you are all the way down at the bottom and you want to get something like eHow and you don't want to have to scroll down every single time. What you can do is you can hit options on your remote, and that is right there, and once you hit that, you can go add to favorites. Now once it has been added to your favorites, all you have to do is hit favorites on your remote, which is right there. And once you're there, you get the option to pick between your favorites. So as you can see, I have Netflix and now I have eHow, and you can simply launch either one of them from that favorites menu. So that is really nice, and I am really glad they added that, because again, if you want something that is at the bottom of one of these lists and you don't want to have to scroll down to the bottom every single time, then you can just do that and access your favorites from anywhere inside of the streaming player. So to start off, I'm first going to give you guys an example of YouTube. Now, YouTube works really well, and you can actually log in or search or view featured, most popular, most discussed, most responded, most viewed, top favorites, and top rated. So I'm just going to go ahead and go over the search function. Now, it keeps a record of your searches, and as you can see, I did search for myself, iCrackUriDevice, and if you actually want to clear your history, then all you have to do is scroll down and hit clear. Or if you want a new search, then you just have to go up and hit new, and then it will prompt you to enter in what you want. And I'm just going to go ahead and select myself. So again, iCrackUriDevice, and as you can see, it gives you all of the videos here that are related to your search, and what you can do is you can just select one of the videos. So I'm just going to select this video, and it will instantly start playing right over there. Now, once it's playing, you can either look through all of the other videos to actually find something else you want to watch while you're still watching that video. But if you actually want to make it bigger, all you have to do is just arrow over and hit the middle button of the D-pad, and it will go into full screen. Now if you want to fast forward, you can do one of two things, and this is true throughout the entire media player. So if you want to go forward, all you have to do is hit right, and as you can see, it scrubs forward, and then it will just seek to that position, and then it will render it so it will actually play the rest of it. Now, as I said before, you can do it one of two ways. You can either do it that way, or you can use these arrows and simply do it like that. Now, if you want to pause it, again, all you have to do is hit the center button and it will pause it, or you can hit this pause button and this play button to control it that way as well. And again, that is the same throughout every application. Now I'm just going to go ahead and give you guys a quick demonstration of Netflix. And it gives your instant queue up at the top, recently watched right there, and top picks for you at the bottom. And then if you scroll down, then it will give you new arrivals in movies, TV, and then it will start to go into the different categories of all of the videos available. So I'm actually going to go ahead and just start playing one that is in my instant queue. So it gives you a description of it right there. What it's rated right there is in like PG-13 RPG, and its actual rating by users right there. In this menu, you can get the rest of the description, you can play it, or you can remove it from your instant queue. So I'm going to go ahead and play it and show you guys how long it takes. Alright, so there we go. Now it has completely loaded and it is playing, and I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward through it, and I'm going to play it right there. And now what I'm going to do is simply pause it, and I'm going to hit return, so we'll go back, and then I'm going to show you guys how you can actually resume what you were watching. So let's say I want to browse for something else, and I'm checking out 24, which is also in my instant queue, and let's say I don't want to watch it, and I actually want to go back. and I want to resume watching what I was watching earlier, which was Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time. So I can go back to it, and now as you can see, I get an extra option. I get resume and I get play from beginning. So I can go ahead and just hit resume, and it will go through the same process, except this time it will start from where I left off. And this is true for whichever device you're watching it on. So say you're watching it on your computer and you come and you want to watch it on your TV with your streaming player, you can do that and you can resume it from exactly where you left off on your computer. And again, as you can see, that was where we left off initially. And another quick feature that is really cool, you can actually make the window, like what you see, smaller or bigger. And the way you do that is by using the top and bottom arrows for the D-pad. So if I use the bottom arrow, as you can see, it gets smaller, and if I use the top arrow, then it just zooms in on it. So that's basically it for Netflix. Now the very last option, you actually get to use Music Unlimited and Videos on Demand, and this service you do have to pay for. Now the final thing I wanted to demonstrate is how to get your iPhone or iPod Touch set up with it. So you're going to have to download the Media Remote app from the App Store, and it is a free application. Once you have it downloaded, go over to the Setup tab and go to Network Settings. Inside of Network Settings, you just go to BD Remote Device Registration, and then from there all you have to do is hit Start Registration, and then it will wait for a device. And then on your iPhone or iPod Touch, all you have to do is go to the application and go Add Registration, and then from there it will auto detect it, and you can just hit Finish on your streaming player and then just go through the quick setup on your iPhone or iPod Touch. But because I already have it set up, all I have to do is pick my device from the list, which is the media player, and then hit Done, and I get this simple and easy remote. And then all I have to do to scroll over is simply swipe over there, and then I can just swipe up to control it and over to go over. So I'm just going to actually show you guys how easy it is to type things in on either an iPhone or an iPod Touch using this remote app. So if I want to search for something, all I have to do is access the options menu and go to search, and then I can type in whatever I want on my iPhone or iPod Touch. So I'm just going to type in Smallville, and then what you can do is just hit Done. And as you can see, it sends it to the TV, and now it says Smallville. I just wanted to give you guys a quick demonstration. You can also access everything else. Like for instance, I can access the home button there, and it goes to the home screen. So that pretty much sums up the hands-on review for the streaming media player. Alright, so to wrap things up, I want to go over the pros and cons of the streaming player. So first of all, it can feel a little sluggish at times, especially when you're trying to load a video. However, most of the time that's not a problem. And another thing that can be a bit annoying is the remote, especially if you do not have an iPhone or an iPod Touch where you can actually input your letters that way. It's easy to use, it doesn't take long to set up at all, and it basically just does what you want it to do. And it supports a wide variety of digital content. Now, overall, this is the best streaming player that you can possibly get, in my opinion. And it just completely dominates its competition, such as the Apple TV. So, for instance, the Apple TV does not support 1080p, it only supports 720p. The Apple TV can only do HDMI video output, whereas the streaming player can do full 1080p, and it can do component video as well as VG output. And it also supports more services than the Apple TV. So if you guys like the streaming player, be sure to check out the link that will be down below in the more info, where you can purchase it on Sony's website for only $99. So if you guys like this video, please rate it up, let me know what you think in the comment section below, and be sure to subscribe if you aren't already. And until next time, this is ICU, signing out.